Hey everyone, welcome to Real or Fake Tech. We test real versus fake tech and reveal the truth behind gadgets.
Over the last month, I went out and bought 6 completely genuine pieces of tech, full retail price, receipts sitting on my desk for every single one of them. And then, separately, I went and bought the 6 best fakes of those exact same products that I could possibly track down anywhere online. A phone, a pair of wireless earbuds, a charger, a smartwatch, an action camera, and a gaming controller. 12 items total, sitting right here on this table in front of me, genuinely real and genuinely fake for every single category. Today, I'm putting all 12 of them through the exact same tests, side by side, category by category, to find out exactly what your money is actually buying you when you take the cheaper option online without thinking twice about it. One of these fakes is going to genuinely surprise you with how close it manages to get. One of them is going to genuinely scare you. Let's get into it properly. Premise plus rules. Here's exactly how today is going to work. 6 separate categories, 1 genuinely real item and 1 fake item bought for each, and for every single one, the exact same 3 tests every single time. Does it look the same? Does it genuinely feel the same in your hands? And does it actually work the same when it genuinely matters most? I'll walk you through my honest, unfiltered take on every single category as we go through them, good and bad, no sugarcoating anything at all. And at the very end of this video, I'm laying all 12 of these items out with absolutely 0 labels and bringing in real people off the street to see if they can actually spot which side is which. Let's start with, without question, the item that cost me the most out of everything on today's entire list. TT smartphones. Real flagship phone, $199. Bought 2 days ago directly from the store. Box and receipt both still sitting on my desk right now. Fake version, $185 from a listing that described it, word for word, as brand new, sealed, factory unlocked, ships today. Side by side straight out of the box, and for the first full minute, genuinely nothing gives it away at all. Same plastic wrap with the same pull tab, same welcome graphic printed on the inner lid, same weight in the hand down to a gram or 2, same camera housing sitting in exactly the same spot on the back. I genuinely had to double check the boxes twice just to remind myself which one I'd actually paid 1/5 of the price for. Turn them both on though, and the story changes remarkably fast. The real phone boots straight into its proper, familiar setup flow. The fake boots into a heavily skinned imitation of the real software. A genuinely convincing skin at first glance with icons and animations close enough to fool a quick glance across the room. But dig one settings menu deeper than a casual buyer ever would, and there's a leftover diagnostic screen that has no business being there at all, plus a processor listed clearly under the hardware information that belongs in a phone, costing a genuine 1/10 of what I actually paid for this one camera test. Identical daylight shot, identical subject, identical lighting. Real phone, sharp accurate color, strong dynamic range between shadows and highlights. Fake, noticeably soft, over-processed in that artificial way. Colors pushed unnaturally hard, trying desperately to fake that premium, expensive look, and simply not managing it. Then the drop test from exactly the same height onto exactly the same hard studio floor, back to back. Real phone, a small scuff on the corner. Screen completely fine afterward. Fake phone, a full spiderweb crack straight across the entire display. Because whatever that glass actually is, it simply isn't what the original listing it was. Verdict. A phone that photographs beautifully sitting in a listing photo and genuinely falls apart within the first week of actually owning and using it day to day. The wireless earbuds. Real pair, $249. Fake pair, $18. Bought from the exact same seller who sold me today's fake phone case. Coincidentally enough, visually genuinely close work here. Same case shape, same matte finish, same LED placement in exactly the same spot. Open the case though, and the real buds snap out with a genuinely satisfying magnetic pull every single time. The fakes just slide straight out with absolutely no resistance at all, and the stems themselves sit noticeably thicker in your ear after even a few minutes of wear. Sound test, 1 bud from each pair, 1 in each ear at once, directly comparing them live in real time rather than relying on memory. Real pair, full, controlled bass, properly balanced mids, and noise cancellation genuinely silences the room around you almost entirely. Fake pair, thin and tinny, virtually no low end present at all. And the noise cancellation toggle on the case lights up and does precisely nothing whatsoever to the actual sound coming out. Battery claim printed on the box says 30 hours of total playback. 2 hours on charge, checked properly. and the fake case had already dropped down to 41%. Verdict: a genuinely convincing case on the outside, hiding a genuinely unconvincing pair of earbuds on the inside of it. Charger: this is genuinely the single category I take most seriously out of everything on today's entire list. Real 20-watt charger, bought directly from the brand itself. Fake one, about $6 including shipping. They look nearly identical sitting side by side, same overall shape, same size, same small logo. Though the font on the fake is very slightly heavier if you genuinely look closely enough to compare them directly. I had an electronics engineer friend of mine open both of these up before we started filming, because charger safety genuinely isn't something I'm willing to guess about on camera. The real one has proper internal insulation completely separating the live wiring from the outer casing, plus full safety certification stamped inside. The fake one, when he opened it up, had almost none of that meaningful insulation at all. That's genuinely not a minor quality gap between two products. That's a real fire and shock risk sitting quietly inside a $6 box on someone's nightstand. So, full transparency, because it matters more than any joke in this entire video. Do not buy fake chargers from anyone ever, under any circumstances. Out of everything sitting on today's table, this is the one item that isn't just disappointing. It's genuinely, actually dangerous to own. Verdict: the cheapest single item in dollars on today's entire list, and simultaneously the single most important one to get right, no question at all. Smartwatch, real smartwatch, $429. Fake one, $42. And this is genuinely the single item that impressed and unsettled me the most out of everything I tested today. Physically, it's a genuine dead ringer for the original. Same digital crown, same textured side button, same curved screen edge catching studio light in exactly the same identical way. On the wrist, from a few feet away, it's genuinely indistinguishable from the real thing. Up close, the fake screen resolution is a little softer, text appearing slightly fuzzy up close, but you would genuinely have to be looking for that specific flaw to notice it at all. The function-wise though, it's an entirely different device underneath. The real watch handles proper continuous heart rate tracking, blood oxygen monitoring, full companion app syncing, and genuine cellular connectivity. The fake tells the time perfectly fine and counts steps genuinely badly. 100 steps counted out loud on camera registered as 312 on the fake watch's own screen. Verdict: genuinely the single closest visual match on today's entire list, and honest proof that looking right and actually being right are two completely entirely different things. Action camera, real action camera, $349, rated for properly stabilized 4K footage even during fast motion. Fake one, $210, box claiming nearly identical specifications, almost word for word, mounted side by side on the exact same helmet, filming the exact same ride down the exact same stretch of road. Real camera, smooth, properly stabilized, sharp detail retained even during genuinely fast motion. Fake camera, visibly shaky despite the stabilization setting being switched fully on, noticeably softer detail overall, plus a constant faint hiss present on the audio track that the real camera's footage simply doesn't have anywhere. Verdict: a camera that genuinely looks the part sitting on a shelf and falls apart completely the moment it actually has to hold a shot steady in the real world. The gaming controller, real wireless controller, $69. Fake one, $15, listed using the exact same official product photos as the genuine store listing. In your hands, closer together than I expected going in. Similar overall shape, similar button layout, similar weight, thanks to some added internal ballast, clearly meant to fool exactly this kind of comparison test. The real controller's triggers have genuine adaptive resistance that shifts depending on what's actually happening in the game at any given moment. The fake triggers are simply basic springs underneath, offering identical resistance no matter what's happening on screen, paired to the same console, one right after the other. Real controller, instant pairing, immediate input response, the moment you press anything. Fake controller, 4 separate attempts just to pair successfully, and once it finally connected, a small but genuinely real input delay. Small enough to miss casually, large enough to get you killed in anything remotely competitive. Verdict: smallest single price gap on today's entire list, and still genuinely nowhere close to acceptable for anything that actually matters. I actually bought all 6 fakes. Before we get to the full review, I want to quickly show you exactly how normal this entire buying process actually looked from the outside. Every single fake sitting on this table came from a completely ordinary, unremarkable marketplace listing. using the exact same official product photography lifted straight from each individual brand's own store page. Shipping ranged anywhere from 4 days to almost 3 full weeks depending on the item. Every single package arrived in genuinely convincing retail-style packaging, complete with fake authenticity stickers, and in 2 separate cases, a printed customer service number that rang through to a completely disconnected line when I actually called it out of curiosity. None of these listings were genuinely hidden or hard to find at all. I found 5 of the 6 within the very first page of search results for each product's name, which is genuinely the single part of this entire process that worries me the most about where things currently stand. Public test. So, finally, the part I promised you right at the very start of this video. 12 items, 6 genuinely real, 6 genuinely fake, laid out across a table with absolutely 0 labels anywhere, and 6 random people brought in off the street to guess which side was which. Category by category, the phone was genuinely the easiest one for most people. They caught the weight difference within just a few seconds of holding both. The earbuds tripped up nearly everyone in the entire group. 2 separate people confidently called the fake pair real, purely because the case felt heavier, so it must be the nicer one. The smartwatch fooled 4 out of 6 people completely, right up until the exact moment the screens actually turned on. And the charger, genuinely the single most dangerous item sitting anywhere on that entire table, fooled 5 out of 6 people, which is honestly the single most unsettling result I have personally gotten running one of these tests on this channel. Average score across the entire group, just barely over half correct. That you're actually playing for. Before the final recap, I want to add up the numbers properly, because I think the actual math here matters more than most people realize when they're scrolling through a marketplace app late at night. Across all 6 categories today, the combined real total comes to $2,354. The combined fake total comes to $486. That's a genuine saving of $1,868 if you went with every single fake instead of every single real item. Which sounds, on paper, like an extraordinary deal, but here's the thing that number completely hides. 3 of these 6 fakes broke, malfunctioned, or performed dangerously within the very first testing session alone. Not months of ownership, a single afternoon. The charger, if actually used regularly the way it's designed to be used, isn't a savings account, it's a liability sitting in your wall. Earbuds, realistically, would need replacing within weeks based on how quickly that battery dropped. When you actually factor in the real honest cost of replacing or dealing with the ones that fail, that $1,800 saving shrinks dramatically, and in the charger's case specifically, it isn't really a saving at all. It's a genuine risk you're choosing to take on for $6. The one that actually surprised me. If you'd asked me before filming this video which single fake would come closest to matching its real counterpart, I genuinely would not have guessed the smartwatch. Going in, I expected the phone to be the closest, purely because it's the product counterfeiters have had the longest time to refine. Instead, the watch was the one that made me pause. I wore both, real and fake, for a full day each, back to back, purely as a casual owner rather than a reviewer actively hunting for flaws, and for basic day-to-day glancing at the time and notifications, the fake genuinely held its own. It's only the moment you ask it to do anything beyond that, health tracking, accurate fitness data, anything you'd actually buy a smartwatch for in the first place, that the entire illusion falls apart. The package itself, phone, last thing before the recap, because I think it's worth a moment on its own. I laid out all 6 sets of retail packaging side by side on the floor, real box next to fake box, for every single category. Genuinely, in 5 out of 6 cases, I could not have told you which box was which without opening them first. The printing quality, the finish on the cardboard, the little plastic windows showing the product inside. All of it has been replicated to a standard that would have been unthinkable even a few years ago. The only real giveaway across all 6 was the smartphone box, where the paper stock used for the inner tray felt very slightly cheaper under your fingers. Everything else genuinely passed the box test completely. Final recap, running back through everything one more time before we wrap up properly. The phone, genuinely convincing, right up until you turn it on. The earbuds, a genuinely great case hiding a genuinely bad speaker inside it. The charger, cheap in dollars, genuinely expensive in real risk. The watch, honestly the closest fake I have personally ever tested on this channel. The action camera, perfectly fine sitting still, genuinely useless the moment it's actually in motion. The controller, close enough in the hand, and a genuine liability the moment it actually matters in real gameplay. Verdict: so, what did actually buying all 12 of these teach me? That fake tech in 2026 has gotten scarily genuinely good at looking right, and is still, almost without exception, nowhere close to actually being right the moment you genuinely rely on it for anything. The charger specifically isn't just a disappointment, it's a genuine safety risk sitting quietly on someone's nightstand. And if you take exactly one single thing away from this entire video, let it be that one line: buy your chargers from the real brand every single time, no exceptions whatsoever, beyond that one specific warning. If a deal on tech genuinely looks too good to be true, it is every single time. Buy from the brand directly or from a properly authorized retailer and save yourself the expensive lesson entirely. If you want me to run this exact same test on a completely different set of 6 items next, tell me exactly which ones down in the comments, and I will absolutely go and find the best fakes money can buy.